What's going on, guys? Snaggy here, and it's time to review round 20 of the 2025 NRL season. And I don't know if I'm ready to do this video, man. I'm still getting over that Warriors win. I mean, what the hell? We'll get to it in a sec, but I just got to get this off my chest because I was just watching the Matty John show, and Fletch said, I don't think anyone else in the Warriors team could have scored that try. And I sat there and thought, I think he's right. Like, rugby league is such a cruel game, and they kick the ball, terrible kick, charge down, great effort, and the ball bounces. Even if maybe another person could have, I'm pretty sure the Newcastle Knights would have sat there and gone, the worst person to get the ball in that situation would have been Licker Halasima. The biggest, fastest, steppiest dude, Mack truck in the game. Like the speed, he got to 0 to 100 so quick, the step, and then the power to just tank through that last tackle. Just, mate, he's something else. Lecker. Remember the name, boys. Remember the name. He's serious. All right, boys. Let's go through all these. Let's go through our results for the weekend. Let me know how you went on the weekend, whether you hit any punts, how your tips went, all that good stuff, guys. We went 7 from 8 on our tips, and we went 6 from 8 on our double ups, which I'm pretty happy about. That's 75%. We were hitting at about 80 from New State of Origin time to the end of the NRL season last year. So definitely hoping to keep that trend going. I think we only had one bad weekend for last year in this time. So great signs that we're going to start cashing a lot of multis this back end of the season. Becomes a lot more predictable and stuff like that, boys. So super happy. Try scores didn't slap too hard this weekend. And we did do our milestone men, which none cashed. But I'll still keep slapping them down just for a bit of fun. And if you don't know what that was, I did a short video where I was like, we just put down a bet on everyone's milestone game, 150th, 200th, stuff like that. And they do seem to score a lot. Maybe it was just a bad weekend, but we'll keep slapping it along and see how it goes. And it's just cool to keep informed with whose milestone games it is anyway. You don't have to put the bet down if you don't want, So, but I thought we would have at least cashed one of those, seriously. All right, boys. So if you're not already, guys, make sure you're subscribed. If you do want to follow us along on Discord, really good chat in there, some really good punters, a few bros doing giveaways and stuff in there now. And if you're not already, make sure you follow us on Dabble too, follow along with those double ups. Just for anyone that doesn't have Discord as well, I did start a Facebook group. Just for anyone that doesn't know, I actually post all my bets in my Discord first, so everyone can have first crack at them. Sometimes the prices come down if a lot of people are betting on these bets. I'd start putting them on Facebook as well, just for the people that can't get into Discord, boys. So there's a few people that just don't have Discord, or I've had a couple of mates just saying it just will not let me in. So I'll leave the link to the Facebook group down there as well, boys. All right, let's get into these games. Dolphins defeat the Cowboys 43-24. Sharkies defeat the Roosters 31-18. Panthers get it done against the Rabbitohs 30-10. Raiders, damn, this scoreline doesn't really reflect how close this game was for a while. 40-16 against the Eels. Raiders win. Bulldogs snatch it from the jaws against the Dragons 20-18. Seagulls hold on against the Storms 18-16. Man, we had some awesome... How good is rugby league, boys? Everyone's like, man, what mud games on Sunday? This hasn't updated yet. Everyone's like, oh, trash games on Sunday. Seriously? Man. West Tigers defeat the Titans 21-20, and Warriors win 20-15. Odd scoreline. Man, wild stuff. Now, I'll just be all honest. I did miss the first half of this game, boys. I was watching the UFC, Max Holloway versus Justin Poirier, and I'm glad I watched it. Normally I do go back and watch them, but look, I'm just going to be real with you, boys. I'm not going to waste an hour of my day going back to watch the Titans versus the Tigers score 3 tries in the first half of a footy. All the good stuff happened at the end of the game anyway, so let's just roll with it, all right? I won't have too much to say about the game in general here, but we'll give it a crack, eh? We'll give it a crack. Let's have a look at the ladder. We'll just check this one because I do like the aesthetics of this one a bit. Let's see if it's updated. No, it has not. Good old Google Sports. Quick with their updates, lads. All right, so some big movement, boys. Well, not big, but just big in the grand scheme of the finals and stuff like that. And it could have been bigger if the Warriors lost that game. Raiders kick clear. Well, not kick clear, but you know. It's almost with the issue with them was they had Melbourne Storm breathing down their neck. Now, Melbourne still have a substantially better for and against, so they could have caught them if they ended up on the same points. Doggies can't. Doggies are much less likely to, being 34 points behind. I mean, obviously they can, but much less likely to catch the Raiders if they do end up on the same amount of wins for the year. Whereas if Storm finished on the same points, it's a wrap. Like, they're 100% going to win the minor premiership. I'm sort of furious. I did have Storm to win the minor premiership at about $4, and that's not looking likely now. I did hedge it with the Raiders, but yeah, I'd much rather win. Would much rather the Storm win it. Now, Warriors as well. Like, if they lost this game, they would have had Broncos, Panthers, and even the Seagulls hot on their trail, boys. So that was nearly huge. Ended up just being a nothing, but crazy. And then Sharkies back up into the 8. Dolphins here as well, and Roosters fall out. Boys. So she's going to be a tough old one, and I dare say Roosters is where the cutoff is right now. I don't see Dragons down making finals. And even then, I personally think, I'm not going to write off the Roosters right this second. I personally think it's Dolphins and Sharks Dolphins and Sharks for that last spot. I just do. I know there's a lot of footy to be played, but yeah, it's Dolphins just have a very healthy for and against. So even though they've got a few toughish games, you know, like if it does come down to again a tie, they're going to get in because of that really healthy for and against. And then we have the rest, and Titans. I had a heart attack, boys. Obviously, if Melbourne Storm to win, I need the Titans to come last. Obviously, have a grand down on them, an 11-1, and they are a full game behind the Eels. But if they won this, it would have been very close because their for and against are very, very tight now. So, and then could be. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're going to win that with ease." I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna, bro. I think it's going to be tight. I genuinely do think the Titans probably win the spoon. But one positive, it looks like Trell's only going to be out for 3 more weeks, so they should get him back for the last 3 games. And Eels, I believe, get Mitchell Moses back next week, so I should be okay there as well. Like, they should be able to win some games. You know, it's not like the Rabbitohs and Eels aren't. I don't think if they have they can still win games, and Titans, I'm not as sure they can, but obviously can, and I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. One sec. Let's get into these games, boys. Cowboys versus the Finns. Man, this was crazy, man. First of all, it does look like, boys, that the Wayne Bennett curse has been completely shaken. They look good, man. They look real good. I'm not saying they're even top 4, but I'm just saying they look very, very good. They look fast, energetic. They can strip you so easily on either edge, predominantly left. It's impressive. Like, it's impressive. Like, they can put points on quick. It's just, they go through these little patches where it's just like 10 minutes, 3 tries. You know, it's just 2 tries. Like, if they get 1, they could get 2 or 3, you know, and it's just scary if you're playing them. Like, you clock off for a 10-minute period, boom, there could be 18 points against you. You know, you could be down by 4. You blink, and all of a sudden, you know, you're down 22. You know, so it's wild. Averillo at 6, I really liked it. I'm furious at him. We did have Herbie Farmworth for a try scorer in this one, and who was it? Hammer made a break, and his support player on the outside is Herbie, and Averillo does everything in his power to get in between those two and steal his try. So a lot of people, we see a lot of people, get mad at players and stuff and literally cuss them out on social media. I'm not going to do that, but look, I hope he has not a great week. I hope he loses his car keys. Hope his car doesn't start one day, stubs his toe. I'm not happy with you, Averillo, but you look pretty good there, man. I love it. Running 6, fast, speed, effort, all that good stuff you love in a 6. And it sort of complements Katoa pretty good. I do think they're better with Nicarima there, but he's nice. He's really nice. So I looked this one up. So let's have a quick look at this because Dolphins would have actually updated. They have scored 533 points in 18 games of rugby league. That is epic. That is absolutely epic. Like, they're 400 points ahead of all the teams around them. You know, they scored the same as the Melbourne Storm, who are sitting third. And absolutely diced teams. So, pretty impressive, man. Like, they can score your points. Now, we've got to have a real quick look at this as well. Now, I might do a ladder predictor video this week too, boys. We'll try and predict what the actual finals is going to look like at the end of the thing. I'll use this predictor. I'll put that one up as well. So they got 9 wins. Now, they're probably the one team in this area that can get it with 12 wins. I think one team's going to scrape in with 12. You want 13. But I think one team, if we look at last year... I don't want any TNs. It's a 2024. So we've got to go to around 27. Knights scraped in with 12 wins. All right? And they had, obviously, they had the better for and against than the Raiders. All right? So you're going to need minimum of 12. I would love 13. So let's have a quick look. We'll have a quick look and see if we can find 3 wins for them, boys. Because I really want Dolphins to play finals. And I really want their first game to be against the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. That would be enormous. Absolutely enormous. So what are we doing? Dolphins. All right, boys. Let me know. The Dolphins going to make finals. Like, looking at this run home. All right, so they have a bye. So they're going to need... A bye can be a bad thing. Not a bad thing, but, you know, like... They would love a crack at an actual win over the bye. Now, Warriors, that's going to be tough in New Zealand. Roosters at home, look, that's winnable. That's very winnable. Broncos, that's going to be tough. That's going to be very tough. They have the Seagulls, who are all of a sudden playing pretty good footy. Then they have the Titans, I'll give them that one for sure. And then they have the Raiders. So they're going to have to win one of these tough games. They're going to have to... The Roosters, they've got a good shot at. Broncos, they could have a shot at. You get what I'm saying? So she's definitely not a pick, definitely like a lock. But they should be able to. I see 2 wins they could definitely win, and then they need to knock off one of these top teams to be able to play finals. Now, if they want to do well in the finals, they're going to need to beat those teams anyway. But I think the Dolphins' ultimate goal here is just to get in the finals. I think if they get bounced round 1, I think we'd all sit there and go, yeah, 2 years in the comp and you made the 8. You know, like Tigers haven't made the 8 in 10, you know, like 10 years, you know, like, you know, you've done it in 2. Like, that's great. So, yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out, but looking good for the old Dolphins. Now onto the Cows, man. Like, Todd Payton, bro, he's in a bad way. He's in a bad way, boys. He said at a press conference maybe a week or 2 ago, I'm getting kept up at night, not knowing what to do with certain things, and it looks like it, man. It is sort of similar where we sort of sit here and go, you know, like, we all have an opinion on what could work, but it's not necessarily right. Like, I don't really know. It's just not right. I think they do need a new voice. They've got players in this team they can build a genuine club around, and I think maybe the whole new young coach gut the team, build around Tom Dearden and Drinkwater, and they don't have much else though. Look, I don't know, man. It's tough. Nanai's another guy you can build around, and Lukey too when he's back. So they got a good core group of players there, relatively young, that you can build around. But yeah, it's not looking good, and they genuinely looked like, I said this and that actually jogged my memory of Todd Payton saying that a couple of weeks ago or last week, whenever it was, that to me, I just watched them, I said they look tired and out of answers. And then I'm pretty sure Todd Payton said they were out of answers. But yeah, not looking good, guys. They're 6 wins, So that you can pretty much write off their finals now. No, I think mathematically they still can make it. Minus 164 and against. Again, you're going to be coming up against the Dolphins for that 8th spot, possibly with a positive of 160. I don't think you're going to make up 320 points. Is that what you'd have to do, literally? And then losing to Lungy as well. To Lungy as well. That's not good, man. Like, yeah, look, Dolphins complete. Well, look, 200 meters. Like, they're just 10 line breaks, bro. Like, 10 line breaks. What he's doing. I didn't actually think they defended horribly. It was just Dolphins. If you just like we saw the Sharks do a really good job defending them, and if you don't do that, you're done. Like I said, I genuinely think Dolphins are beatable, like pretty beatable, but you got to defend at a super high level and fast. You know, like Doggies could probably handle them with their up and in. Panthers could probably handle them with their up and in, stuff like that. But yeah, you got to be careful. Yeah, so not looking good for the Cows. Yeah, she might be a rough old 4 or 5 weeks to finish off the season, but they'll do a final year review, and I don't know if we're going to see Toddy Payton there for the rest of his contract. Sharkies versus the Roosters. Man, I enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed this game. Look, I'm to blame on this a little bit as well. But when the Sharkies weren't doing great things, actually, I never really sat here and blamed Nico Hines and Trindle. I know I've been critical of them in random games, but I've never been like, they're the reason. I said more, I'd like to see something change, like maybe a Nico go to whatever. Like, I just wanted to see something different. And not once, well, I'm talking about all the other people that talk about rugby league in the game, or the big shows like on Fox and all that. Not one person was like, Brayley needs to run out of dummy half. No one said that. I never heard anyone say that once. Bro has changed the look of that team on his own. Like, and it didn't really click until he just started carving up. I was sitting here going like, actually, he probably has been a bit to blame. Not to blame. It's like we'd always find the reasons to blame people, right? But for the last 3 years, they've had a monstrously big forward pack. They've got an even bigger forward pack this year. Why the hell isn't the 9 impacting the game? And he has been. And his stats, bro, like, in the first half, he was insane. Like, I don't know if they finished like this. I took these stats down with about 5 minutes to go, but 120 running metres out of dummy half, a line break assist, 2 try assists. His first half, you can't play better as a number 9. Like, you can't play better. And I genuinely think he's the form 9 in the comp at the moment. He is incredible, bro. And like I said, like, we're sort of scratching our heads here going, what the hell's going on? Like, how can we fix the Sharkies? And it seemed to be just, they're big. Why doesn't the number 9 run? And they look incredible. They look great, man. Like, yeah, I was so impressed with them. Like, this Vayela guy looked pretty good. He needs a off-season in the weight room. He was getting pumped in his taking these yardage carries and stuff like that, but looks nice on his feet. They keep finding these good outside backs, I tell you what. But look, Sharkies have turned a corner here all of a sudden, man. Like I think maybe 3 weeks ago or whatever, I was sitting here when I was talking about the Sharkies, I was sort of sitting there going, it looks the same, even maybe a little worse than the last 3 years. You know, it almost looks like they're down a little run. You know, stuff like that. And we're calling for just something to change. And it's crazy that they've changed it, and it looks so good. In my short preview, I'm not too sure if I said it on my long video, but what was I going to say? I said I felt like something clicked last week. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I feel like something clicked. And then this game happened, and I was like, it has. Like, so man, if you're a Sharkies fan, you're stoked all of a sudden. You look great. And where are they sitting exactly? Sitting in 8th. So it's going to be tough. I guess the Storm are only on 2 wins, so you can make it up. It's going to be tough if they want a genuine shot at the comp. They've got to finish in the top 4 IMO, but it's not out of the question. They definitely could, but yeah, Ben Capper negative now though. just making the finals and making a round or two into it ain't really what the Sharkies were looking for, was it? So, I don't know. Now, look, Roosters, man, it was one of these ones, like, I just thought they played awesome. Like, I thought they did an awesome job on Toya. I thought they shut down everything. Like, their outside backs were doing really well. The middles were great, like this forward pack, White, Lindsay Collins, Steep was, Spencer Linu, they did a really good job. Now, Roosters, I'm feeling a skid incoming. I heard Cooper Cronk, they're a finals team, finals. As I hear they're going to be playing finals this year. I'm not overly convinced, eh? Now, let's have a look. They got 8 wins. They're going to need a minimum of 12. Let's have a little look. So they're minus, what's their for and against? Here. They're on 8, so well behind the Dolphins, close to the Sharkies. Now, they've got 7 games remaining. Now, they've got to play the Storm twice and the Bulldogs, which are tough games, obviously. Now, I think they're definitely going to need 5 wins. This is why I'm not overly convinced, boys. I don't think 4 wins at 12 wins will get them in. All right, so this is why I'm a little bearish on the Roosters, because the for and against just isn't. It's not horrible, like it's +8, but it's more the fact that the Dolphins are just above them with 160. So they're gonna need 4 wins. All right, so let's have a look. They got Storm next week. Then they got Seagulls, who are playing pretty good footy. Then they have the Finns. All right, so that could decide. This could be the game that knocks them out, seriously. If they go loss, they're done. So hang on, they've got 7 games remaining and they're going to need 4. No, they're going to need 5 wins. They're not going to force not going to do it. 1. And I know, they are playing much better footy than the Rabbitohs, but we know Rabbitohs are going to play their asses off in this one. They would love to finish Roosters' season on a low, wouldn't they? So it's really tough game. Game that I know Storm haven't looked great and they just had a loss on the weekend, but, they're still a cracking team. Roosters versus Seagulls at Brookie. Dolphins in Brisbane. Bulldogs at Allianz. Eels at Combank. Storm in Melbourne. They're not playing finals, man. I don't think they're making it. I don't think they're going to make it. I don't see 5 wins here. I see 3 or 4 max. I see 3 probably. Yeah. I'm calling it now, boys. I don't think they're going to do it. They're too short. And just with the fact that the Dolphins are ahead of them, with that better for and against, is just, it's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. So, I'm writing it off. Roosters, I don't think you're playing finals. Right, on to the Panthers versus the Bunnies. Panthers all of a sudden 6 in a row. Cleary rested and fresh. Isaiah Yeo rested and fresh. Liam Martin rested and fresh. Brian To'o, severe cramping or injury? That's the concerning part there, boys. Positives. Dylan Edwards got rested last week, didn't he? Anyway, forget his numbers for a second, even though I'm about to read them out to you. But I'm not even talking about those. Just looking at him to the eye, he looked the best I've ever seen him, just movement-wise. Dylan Edwards was sort of to me, almost, when he first came onto the scene, I thought he was like the Timu version of Teddy. He's just not quite as good, just not quite as fast, not quite as elusive, not quite as janky, all that. And then he just sort of added a bit of size, added a bit of, bit of strength through the hips. His step sharpened up a little, and he's not as janky and all that sort of stuff. But he just used to just sort of, and he would make 18, 19, 20 metres through traffic and either break the line or get a quick play the ball. I thought he did it for the first time this year and looked the same as he had in previous years. That was just my personal opinion, and the stats back it up. I don't know what he finished with, but let's have a little look, because I'm pretty sure his numbers were off the Richter scale on this one. 305 metres, 2 line breaks, 1 try assist, 11 tackle breaks. Damn. That's pretty crazy. Now, I personally think they should rest To'o anyway. They're not doing a damn thing in the finals without To'o. I think they need him if they want to beat those top 4 teams. Alamotti will do just fine. We're going to get, not Taruva, Tungor back next week. Paul Alamotti can do a job for you for a week or two while against the Tigers until To'o gets right. You need him right. If you need to rest him 2 weeks, rest him 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he needs to be good, bro. Milky Jenkins, bro. How good is he? Bro, how good is Casey McLean too? Like, Casey McLean is just... I just can't wrap these young guys enough. And Blaze Talangi as well. Like, he is so tough, bro. Like, he was getting targeted and he won... I can't remember who there was on. There was one on Keon. Can't remember who the other 2 were on. But there was time where he got ran at on purpose hard and big collision, boom. And he won the... I'm not saying he folded them. I'm just saying, you know, there's winning contact. They go back further than you hit them. Then they hit you. He won collisions against big, massive dudes at 19 years old. Babyface. Like, he is tough, bro. Like, he's shaping up real nice. Like I said, this Casey McLean dude, people laughed at me when I said it, that he must have a bit of critter about him if they're signing him past 2020. I think they signed him till 2028 when he was 18. Penrith don't do that. They didn't do it with To'o, Critter, Taruva, like May, Tungor. Like, none of them. They're winning premierships, putting rings on their fingers. 2 years, bro. You know, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, they're obviously, like, and we're starting to see it. Like, I'm being real. I'm not, like, Critter. This dude is probably, like, Critter. Everyone thinks Critter, like, was, and I'm the biggest Critter fan on earth. I think he's the best centre in the world. And, you know, I just cannot believe how impactful he's been on the Bulldogs from the centre position. But, like, people think, like, Critter was just, like, how he is now, like, from the minute he rolled into the game. Bro, he took 2 years to get good. He was, I'd say, below average for a couple of years there. He just, when he emerged, he was, boom. He was immense right away, you know, and then he just hasn't dropped. In fact, he's continued to get better. But he was getting bathed on the reg that his first year and probably halfway into the next year. He really was. So I honestly think I've seen more from McLean in his first year and a half than I probably have of Critter, which is just insane. Again, not saying he's better than Critter, not saying he's going to be better than Critter. I'm just saying he's got something about him. He's nice. Look, what I love Ivan. I think Ivan Cleary is the best coach in the game. The stuff he's doing, he's just like, he plays 4G chest. And he's just just resting the players last week, the staggering rests, and not only that, he in-game rests as well. They're skinny in the front row, right? Moses Leota is by far their most influential front rower. Where is he? 38 minutes, bros. He got game time into Patea's legs. He got game time into Lindsay Smith's legs. He got game time. You get what I mean? He played, like, in a big game. He played his most important front rower for barely any minutes. He can coach, bros. I'm telling you. One of the reasons I think Penrith have been so successful is how flawlessly they timed their run into the finals. Like, Penrith are always playing their best footy when it comes finals time. And I'm not saying Penrith... I don't think Penrith can play as good as they have the last 5 years. But I think, like, you can see... We look at the top 4 teams right now. None of them are playing their best footy. None of them are playing... Whereas Penrith are playing their best footy they have this year. You know, definitely not as good as last year. But Canberra were playing better footy earlier in the year. Bulldogs were playing better footy earlier in the year. Melbourne were playing better footy earlier in the year. Warriors were playing better footy earlier in the year. You know, like, Broncos have come pretty good again. But you get what I'm saying? He's special, man. He can coach, bros. And if you're a Blues fan, like, you have to get that whole getting Bellamy in. Just I love Bellamy. You're elite, but it's got to be Ivan. Ivan's got to be in there, man. Seriously. Yeah, look, we've got to have a little look at them, I guess, don't we? Let's have a little look at their... Actually, I just want to have a quick look at this first. I just want to have a quick look at how their team stats for this game went. So, far from perfect, 74%. Ran for 1,800. That'll get it done. 6 line breaks to 5. That's pretty impressive. To concede 5 5 line breaks, only concede 2 tries. One of them was completely... what's that word? What is it? Complementary try. Fast play the ball speed. So the tackles must have been okay. 40 missed. It's a little high. Still can get better. Definitely far from their best. But look, a nice 20-point win. That juices up their for and against a little bit as well. So solid win. Let's see what their run home looks like. I'm pretty sure they've got a few easies and a few hards. Panthers. Now, where are they exactly on the table as well? So they're in 6th. So 5th or 6th is the absolute lowest they want to be. You really do want to be 4th or 3rd if possible. But actually, just scratch what I just said before. For and against does not matter with them. They've got the draw. So they've got an odd amount of points in their thing. So... yeah, that doesn't apply. For and against doesn't apply to the Panthers this year, unless the Cowboys are involved with them, but they're way down the ladder. So they're half a game behind the Broncos, a game and a half behind the Warriors. Yeah. So now, who do they play? This could be important because if they do play some of those top 4 teams, they can make up ground quicker. This is why you don't always want to play easy games coming in the finals, especially if you're trying to climb the ladder. You're actually better off playing teams above you and winning, obviously. You want to keep winning. Winning's, you just want to win, but if you win against teams above you, you jump them quicker, you know. So Tigers, Titans, Knights. All right. Then Storm, that'll be tough. Then Raiders, then Bulldogs. Okay, man, good memory. Good memory. 3 easy, 3 hard, and then Dragons to finish with. So, damn, that's crazy. Yeah, so obviously playing finals. I don't know about top 4, man. They're 3 tough games. But yeah, great win. Now look, as far as the Rabbitohs go, look, their injuries is just insane. Like, they've been the most injured team this year. I mean, look at this. We've got bloody 2.5 rows of injuries here. Mum always said if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. But look, they are just so slow. I just don't like the makeup of their team. And I remember just looking at it at the start of the year and just thinking, like, everyone was sort of like, why aren't you putting Bunnies in your top 8? And I was like, they just look slow, bro. Like, everyone's slow. Kepi, Arrow, Totola, Keon. There's no speed, bro. It's just slow, you know, and you can't rely on Latrell Mitchell to throw double cutout balls with 5 minutes to go to win you the game, you know. It just looks, even their edges, like, I know, you know, Munro's got a bit of toe about him, but it just everything looks slow, you know, and I really think they're going to struggle to score tries. Yeah, so I think they'll jag a couple wins on the run home, but yeah, they're just not much to write home about the Bunnies. This is a bit of a write-off season for them. It really is. Let's get on to the next game anyway. Let's talk about the good teams, not the teams that are struggling. Raiders, Eels. Now, how was that? I have this written down in my notes. How was that Casey Badger call? That 40-20. Man, like, I'm not even going to judge whether it was a 40-20 or not. I don't care. Like, I couldn't care less. But, like, the way she explained it, well, the ball's out on the front. It's like, bro, what the hell are you talking about, man? Like, she's so cooked. Now, look, I mentioned this before. Raiders, look, they're on a, 6 or 7 game win streak. You can't knock them. I'm not knocking them. But it just does, and they've just pumped a team by 40-16. Like, what I'm saying sounds stupid, but Eels were in this game right up until, the 72nd minute? Owen Paddy got one, and then another, and then Ethan Strange got one as well. But yeah, just again, I mentioned a little bit earlier. Just remember, boys, if you're watching my videos, when I'm talking about the top 4, 5, 6 teams, we're looking for things wrong with them. We're looking to see, because everyone's going to talk about how good they are. We've got to find things wrong with them to find out whether we think they're going to win finals games or lose finals games, win grand finals, all that sort of stuff. So you've got to get the magnifying glass out and start looking for things wrong with them. And it just does look a little clunky. It does look a little like sort of almost game planless a little bit the last month or so. But like again, I know they've won every game. I'm looking for bad things to say, but like I just felt like I think when you have try scorers down, you notice which side teams are playing a lot. Now I was happy they were going left 90% of the time because I had Hudson Young and he plays on the left. But I thought their best football was on the right. I thought they went down there once early and they scored so easily. Left. Then they'd go back into the tram lines, left. Back into the tram lines, left. I don't know if that you could call that a game plan, but it just looked like, our best players are out this way, so we'll just go that way, you know? It was a little strange. Ethan strange. But, yeah, it was, again, just looking for negatives. Yeah, it was just, I just found myself sitting there going like, all right, Snaggy, watch Raiders football for the next 15 minutes and ask yourself, is this football, not the team, is this football they're playing good enough to win a comp? And I found myself saying no, you know, and now onto the positive stuff. They've got time to fix it. No one else around them's playing crazily good footy, you know, so like it's like that's why they can win the comp. I'm just saying like that footy doesn't look good, but they can win the comp because I don't think any of the top 4 teams are playing as good as maybe the top 4 teams last year and the year before that. You know, they're winning games still. They're winning close games. They're getting that feeling of just being a winning footy club. You just seem to win those games. We just saw it with the Warriors and the Knights. Like, Knights almost look like they've forgotten how to win, and then you bloody Warriors are trying to lose games almost and still win somehow. You know, it's a weird game. But yeah, I just had myself finding that a little bit. Defense needs some work. Like Eels 4 clean line breaks in the first half. Like not a hand laid on them through the middle. Not just shifting the ball around, doing stupid offloads, and they make a lot like just a little bit of deception. Hit a player outside them. Clean line break, you know. So they've got some work to do. I know they're sitting on top of the table, looking great and just stacking wings like crazy, but they've definitely got some work to do. But like I said, positives. They're getting the wins. They're on top of the table. They've got plenty of time to work it out. Not only that, if they go win the comp, they win the minor premiership, jag a first win in the finals, they're going to have a full week off to work it all out as well. Another full week, you know. So things just looking great for the Raiders. Like I said, I genuinely think they're in the best spot to make the grand final. I'm not going to say win the comp, but make the grand final than any other team in the league right now. So shout out to the Raiders, man. They look absolutely incredible. I'm loving what Strangey's doing. I'm loving what Ethan's doing. But yeah, just got to fine tune a few things. And let's have a little look just to make sure, like, are they going to finish first? I have looked at their run home, but it was maybe a couple of weeks ago. What's their fine tuning going to look like? All right, so you can definitely get some fine tuning done against the Knights. In fact, they're a great team to do it against because they actually defend pretty well. You're not playing, you know, you want stiffish competition when you're fine tuning. So that's good. Actually, this Dragons game's great as well. Because again, similar, like they play some pretty good footy. They're just not winning many footy games at the moment. This one's great too. You know what I mean? A top team hit out. Then you got a bye. Now you got a team you're probably going to play in the finals if you want to win the comp. This is a good run home. So, like I said, positives here for the Raiders, man. That's they're looking good. I honestly think they're the team most likely to play in the grand final this year. I really do. Onto the Eels quickly. Look, Eels, I'm just excited for them for next year. Like, Joash Papali'i was so bad in this game. It was funny, they were talking up his running game in this game. And I think he just dropped the ball cold while he was running twice in the first half. I was like, why do commentators do this? Just let them play. Stop hyping guys up when they haven't done anything yet. Wait till they're at least doing some damage before you start ruining their careers, boys. But yeah, it was pretty I remember. So obviously this score blew out, but we were relatively close. The Eels were ahead at half time. Eels were looking pretty close there for a while, and I'm just excited for him for next year. Like I've seen enough. I've seen Rolsey do enough stuff where I'm like, what the hell? And then it's just like, oh, bro, what a great move that was. And just the way he's gutted the team, got the players in he wants. They got salary cap space. I mean, his spine's what, like 21, 20. Mitchell Moses, obviously the old head, and then Riley Smith and De Silva, who's he's 20 as well, 21 maybe. Good young spine. I can't wait till he gets his hands on him. Like I said, this Tuivasa dude's good too, man. Bro, this dude here is good too. Dory, he showed he was one of the line breaks. He had some toe. He was tough. So yeah, I'm just really excited to see what the Eels look like next year. Like I really am. They're going to not make finals. They can go off, have a little holiday, get back to training early. He can really get his hands on them. Who knows? Maybe an off-season transfer. If someone's not happy. We could be looking at one of those, teams fighting for the finals next year. Geimer was incredible, man. Jack Williams was great on the edge. Oh, that's right. I wanted to look this up. Jermaine Hopgood played, I think, 60 straight minutes in the middle. 57 minutes straight in the middle. What numbers did he put out? 100. Pretty solid, bro. For a he's not big. He normally plays. He's not big for a lock. He was 11 carries for 101 meters. 40 post contact. I thought he was really good. Good line break assist as well. But yeah, look, Joash Papali doesn't quite look up to standard to me. So this is why I love what Rolls done. Isaiah Yongi's just taken to the NRL like a duck to water. Rookie of the year for me, him or Halasima. He needs some rugby. He needs some NRL games under his belt. So this is why I actually love what Rolls is doing. Like, you're not going to be here next year. Get the hell out of here, bro. We've got this young gun who needs minutes in his legs, NRL minutes in his legs. We're going to give him some runs. So, and like I said, I think I said this last week, but it's a really good sign for Parramatta that Riley isn't afraid to lose his job by having some losses and making some big calls. Like, he's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. The board's like, you do what you need to do. You've just done, you know what I mean? You're not going to get fired this year, bro. Do your thing. So that's great. On to the Bulldogs versus the Dragons. This is a funny one, man. This is a funny one. Look, Dragons, again, I think someone said this is their 7th loss by 4 points or less. Just, that's heartbreaking, man. Look, I'll talk about the Dragons first. Look, they're down on troops. They're just, like, Flanagan and King Tonga looks like he's young, right? How old is he? He's fresh. Born in 2005. So he's, 20? 13 appearances. And he looks like it. Like, he looks good, but that's the sort of player he looks like. He looks like about a first seasoner, and can't expect a whole heap of him. Like, Flanagan, I'm not going to give him stick, but he wasn't very good. I thought Sully was good. Like, just they rallied as a team, but I think they did the best they can do with the cattle they have. I'm not going to knock them a whole heap, but it wasn't great. But I just thought they were trying their ass off. I genuinely think they're a better team when Little's on the field over Damien Cook. But maybe he's just playing better because he's coming on with fresh legs in the middle, so I'm not going to really knock him for that. But look, I think they wear that. Can you imagine if they won? So they've had 7 games. 7 games where they lost by 4. Let's say they won 4. Where would they be sitting? So that'd be 8 points, right? So I'd put them on 26. They'd be sitting 5th. Oh, that is crazy. The Dragons could be sitting in 5th. Whoa, that is absolutely insane. Crazy. But yeah, look, it's not looking good. I'm going to call it. I don't think they play finals this year. Like I said, I've got to give them credit, man. I think they've been in all these games. Like, they're not getting pumped every week. They look solid. I think they're just down a bit of cattle. They probably need a front rower or two. Yeah. Like, again, I'm not going to spend a whole heap of time talking on them. We've got to talk about the top teams a bit more as we come into finals. But, yeah, just Flanagan needs to be a bit better. King Tongia needs another 40 games under his belt before he's going to do any damage in the NRL. You know, Gutho's trying his ring out, but it's just... They're going through a rebuild too, and they took a different route for their rebuild. They got the old head in who brought in some more old heads. You know, they're not doing that. Let's get youth, some experience, some fresh ears, a fresh voice and fresh ears. They've gone in and gone, let's get old heads in. Also, Val Holmes is out of this one too, which is huge. They're just onto the Bulldogs now. I don't even know, but I know the media is going to be like masterstroke from Serraldo and how good was Galvin and rah. Now look, even if they lost this game, I would have said the same thing. I'm not worried about the Bulldogs in this performance. Like, even let's just assume they lost it, because Galvin and Burton was always going to take a month to get ready anyway. So a good thing is they got to win now. Now they're going to be told how good they are by the media. Everyone's going to be telling Serraldo what to go. Everyone's going to be telling Lockie Galvin how great he is. Rah. Now they go into training and they work on what they need to get better and blah blah blah. You know, and just going to keep winning games, hopefully. But I don't think the problem's solved. I thought their offense and I don't know, bro. I think Serraldo might be just trying to give him confidence. I didn't think Lockie Galvin did a damn thing in that first 78 minutes of that game. I actually thought he was just deferring. Like, he didn't play bad. I just thought, like, literally, he got the ball so many times and just, where's Burton? You know, so I don't think, like, when we've watched Galvin play in the past, he's like, gimme it, and goes to work. It was very different to the Lockie Galvin we've seen play in the past, which is fine. Again, he's in a new team. He's start hogging the ball, but I don't think it looked great. Like, again, and Bulldogs fans, you've probably, if you haven't heard, if you've skipped to the Bulldogs game in this video, we've been very critical on top 4, top 6 teams. We're looking for things wrong with them, all right? You're a great team. You're second. You deserve to be rah. In fact, I'm so glad you are second, because I really want the Bulldogs to have a home final. It's going to be epic. Home final. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be crazy. What was I saying? Okay. Oh yeah. So they had this. This is the concerns I had a little bit. All right. So it's a team list. So number one, I'm not even saying the calls are wrong. They had some sketchy calls. We'll call them sketchy, but they played the Dragons, who haven't been playing tremendously great footy. I'd say a below-average team who played below average, and Flanagan, who's their half, played pretty poorly. They had 50 to 60 tackles inside the Dragons' red zone and barely looked like scoring a lot of the time. They ended up with 4 tries, but for 79 minutes of that game, 3 tries against a bottom, a team coming 11th. You know what I mean? Like, not great. Again, and like I've just been saying, I just don't think the top 4 teams are just quite firing right. There was heaps of really positive signs in all the stuff I love about the Bulldogs. Kick chase, kick pressure. They made Flanagan kick the ball out on the full. I think twice. Maybe definitely once. All the good footy stuff. Presenting a line when that was another thing about. They did such a good job, and the Bulldogs did a great job on this, but it was noticeable too. Like, Dragons need some bigger, better outside backs that can actually. There was the amount of sets where doggies kick the ball down, and they do this to a lot of teams, but some teams that handle it better than others, they'd make like 22 meters on their next set. It was bro, geez. All their back 5 were getting pumped in contact. Where was I with the Bulldogs? But yeah, I love all the good footy stuff, all the good effort stuff and stuff like that. But to me, it was really funny. We didn't really realise how poor their attack had been. I'd love to look through and see how many tries they've actually scored in the last 5 weeks. I don't think it'd be many. I don't think it'd be many more than 10. Maybe 15, 14 or something like that. So, yeah, it doesn't look crash hot. But all I'm saying is they had a lot of good ball in that position. So, all that negative stuff, like, they probably should have put more points on. The halves looked a bit, whatever. But the good thing is, again, they've got weeks to work on it, fix it, and they won. If they lost, you guys suck. What are you, Galvin? Why'd you do this to Sexton? Rah, rah, rah. But yeah, I just didn't think it looked like a finished product to me. That's all I'm saying. It looked great. They got a win, but definitely not a finished product. They did lose to Tilly Tupanua, and I thought he looked incredible. So he's going to be a pretty big loss. Now let's see if it's up yet. Bulldogs pretty healthy at the moment. Only 3 out. It's good players though. Groin. If any Bulldogs fans know how long he's out for. Damn, look at the Cowboys. I know it's funny sometimes, and I'm not mentioning this about the Bulldogs, but sometimes we've got like these injuries and we're missing this player. I'm like, boys, go into Google, write NRL casualty ward, click on it, and have a look at some of the other teams. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just happen to be talking about the Bulldogs right now, but I heard a couple of Bulldogs fans say, well, yeah, but we're missing that player. Bro, everyone's missing player. Look at the Dolphins, bro. Like, everyone's missing players. It just feels like your team's missing the most. Like, you know what I mean? When you're missing it, because you know every player inside out and back to front. You know what I mean? But then you click on it and you go, okay. I'll shut up now. I didn't even check the thing I was trying to check. So it's Tilly, did it say? It just says to be confirmed. Montoya 25. So that's not too far away, boys. So Montoya's bloody good kick returner. But yeah, look, it was good. It was a good game. Yeah, a lot of flip-flopping, hey? A lot of flip-flopping. So I guess Curtis Moran comes back in. They lose a bit of size and stuff like that. But yeah, look, solid win from the Bulldogs. They needed it. Like I said, if they lost this game, I think it would have been 1 win from their last 4 games. And all of a sudden, we're sitting there now, Galvin's getting the business. We're going, now it's 2 wins in the last 4. That's great. They can move on to the next one now. Who do Doggies have next? Like I said, I really hope Doggies make the top. Bulldogs play. Ooh, that's a toughie. Okay, it's going to be a good game versus the Seagulls. Seagulls just knocked off Melbourne. So who was Bulldogs play last week? Was it an impressive team? Yeah, so Bulldogs' 2 wins have come against teams outside the top 8. So this will be a big test for them. Like coming up against a team in the top 8 on a win streak who just knocked off Melbourne. That's going to be a whole other story. Now, where is that game? Is it in Brookie? I don't think it is. 405. Allianz. Whew, it's going to be a good one. Yeah, great win for the Bulldogs. Looking like they're going to get a home final. How good's that? Storm versus the Seagulls. Now, in my post TikTok video, a lot of people like thought I talked down the Seagulls. I didn't mean to. It was just a minute-long video. I can't always rave on about everything that was good, but they're actually really good, bro. Like, they just weren't like manly. Shredding teams by 40 pieces, by 40 points, and absolutely killing them. They came out. They got early. They got a nice. Xavier Coates I thought he scored the second try. They got out to a nice little lead here and just held it long enough. Now I'm furious at Nelson because that's one of my bets that lost from that elbow. We should have hit, but anyway. But this is the stuff I was. This is the stuff I was like, just to put it in the grand scheme, I wasn't overly impressed with the win when I first watched it because I was like, Melbourne played like trash. And like, yeah, it wasn't like a big thumping win. And obviously Melbourne were in this thing right until the end. So I wasn't like, whoa, I'm so blown away here. Like, they held on for dear life and got the win. And I actually thought they were playing. Like, we're in front, I don't think we can score again. And they started kicking the ball out on the purpose and trying to wind down on the clock and stuff like that. So, but I do want to give some credit here because, look, going down to Melbourne and beating Melbourne on Old Boys Day is impressive. There was a few things here that I was super impressed with. Garrick's chase, how he chased down the right edge. They spun it and he chased down to the other corner was incredible. Lehigh Hopewadi on Coates, dragging him out that way, was absolutely incredible. DCE, one-on-one tackle with Big Nasty. incredible. So there was like very incredible things about this Manly win. Yeah, and it was great, man. Like I got a lot of hate, not hate, but a lot of people like, bro, you're like not giving Manly any credit for that win. I am. I just wasn't like blown away, I guess. And I honestly just felt like Melbourne were just off. Like they were way off the pace. But it's still like, how many games do Melbourne beat you when they're even slightly off the pace? So, yeah. So all that effort stuff was great. Now we've got to address the Eels. So they're now on a 3-game win streak with Turbo at centre. Now I don't like the look of it, but they're winning, man. They're winning, bro. I think you have to keep him there. I genuinely think a healthy Turbo is the best fullback in the game. We just haven't seen it in about 4 years. But man, I don't know, man. It's just 3 wins in a row. Lehigh's doing his thing. I keep hearing like everyone saying if they want to do well in the finals, they've got to. I don't know, man. I think we just got to play another 2 weeks, 3 weeks of footy and see where it lands. This is the problem with Manly, and they're playing the Bulldogs next week. I'm probably going to tip the Bulldogs, and here's why. Whenever they get in these situations where we start to count them in again, they lose. So let's see how they go next week against the Bulldogs, and we'll get a real, genuine crack at them. I know that this was an incredible win, but this is that tasty win. This is this win that gives you a taste of that they can be special team, and then they go ahead and lose. I'm not saying this Manly game isn't a huge thing and it's not good. It is. But I'd guarantee you right now, a lot of people are going to be tipping Manly next week, and there's a very good chance they lose this thing and play terribly because they do it all the goddamn time. They do it all the goddamn time. Oh, man. But anyway, I thought Takeaho and Matt Lodge were actually really good and solid through the middle. I think Lodge, must have got a rocket. There was a set where he took 2 incredible 15-metre carries straight through the guts of the Melbourne Storm. He was great. I thought Brooksy had one of his better games. They split up the left and the right better. They were attacking both sides. It was good, man. I really enjoyed this win for them. Now, let's just quickly have a look at them. So, Sea Eagles, 9 wins. Like, again, they're for and against, I believe, is pretty good. So, they might be able to get away with the 12 winner as well. So, can we find 3 wins for the Sea Eagles? Doggies next week, going to be tough. Roosters going to be tough. Sea Eagles, Raiders going to be tough. So, they're playing finals. There's 3 wins there. I dare say they're going to be playing finals, boys. So shout out to the Sea Eagles. You're in. You're in again. Goddamn in again. On to the Tigers versus Sharks. Look, I can't really talk about this game. I only watched the last 15 minutes, but yeah, this is one of these crappy games where you score more tries than the other team and you don't win. I was stressing because I had Jaden Campbell for 4 points and he missed his first 2 conversions. I'm like, are you kidding me? And our multi, did it end up hitting? No, we were a try short. This is one of the 2 bets we lost on the weekend. One of the 2 double up bets we lost on the weekend. We needed it pretty much if the team that won scored 4 tries and the other team scored 3, it would have hit. So, go figure. I really enjoyed the last bit. I went to May, looked incredible. Tiny May. He looks sharp, man. He looks good. He's a tremendous athlete. He really is. Like, people forget how good he was, man. Like, before he did his ACL, he was like, I was sitting there going, I think they've got another top war here. Like, I think this dude's going to be, I sat there and went, Penrith Panthers are going to have the 2 best wingers next year. Like, I was like, and then he put on a bit of size when he did his ACL and they lost Critter. And I was like, and I was watching him play it, and I was like, oh, this is before we'd seen Critter play for. I was like, Jesus, they might have just found a guy just as good as Critter to play centre. Like, he is that good. He's incredible. Obviously, just had his off-field dramas and stuff. But look, man, I'm death riding the Titans, so I'm pretty glad they lost. But yeah, that stings. I actually felt sorry for him. I mean, it was tough, man. It was great. It was great theatre. Adam Dewey slot in the field goal was brilliant. It was like hard, sunny day. It was great to watch. But yeah, man, I really did feel for him. Let me know how the first half went. Like who was the better team and stuff like that. If you did watch it, I just can't really. Yeah, I can't really do it. I couldn't go. I went to do it. I'm like, I should really go watch that first half, and I went, ugh, I can't do it. Man, this AJ Brimson try was awesome. Like, man, he's so like fullback is his position, and I'm glad they've just finally put him there. And then like this try here from Skelton, like I was furious at him. Like I was sitting there going, because I thought they were going to lose, obviously. Like with 15 minutes to go, we all did, right? 10 minutes to go. After the AJ Brimson try, we all thought they were going to lose, right? Probably did. And I was just sitting there, and let me know in the comments actually, because obviously I had To'o on the other side for a try scorer. Again, we noticed which sides. But I was like, why are you just playing left the whole time? Like they did the same thing the Raiders were doing. Go left, go back halfway to the middle, go left, go left. I'm like, bro, your right edge is so good, and that Titans' left edge sucks, bro. Like, it sucks. And they kept going, but hey, they got their 2 tries there. I mean, they're lucky that Jaden Campbell didn't bring his kicking boots, but they got there in the end. They got the bickies, and then Dewey slots that field goal. Like, crazy, man. Like, absolutely crazy. I'll just have a look at the player stats quickly because I didn't get to see the game. Maybe this will go, Jesus Christ. Definitely not going to watch that back now. Neither team ran for 8 line breaks to the Tigers, and they didn't. That's crazy. 35 tackle rates to 23. What was the defense like? Titans 35, 23. Not horrendous. Ineffective 12 and 18. Penalties 8 penalties to the Titans. See, that's not good from the West Tigers, eh? They probably should have. I mean, they gave 8 penalties. They completed poorly, and just scraped home in the final minutes. Okay, so. Wow, that paints me a picture that maybe the Titans were the better team through this game. You guys let me know in the comments. But, yeah, wow. They might have got away with one there by the looks of it. Now, what were Tiny's numbers here? So, 121, respectable. 1 line break, 3 line break assists, and 2 try assists, 7 tackle breaks. Damn! Yeah. So, just for anyone that maybe didn't see Tiny May play when he was playing on the wing for Penrith, him and To'o were putting up the same numbers for a lot of the time. Like, I'm talking like To'o 209, Tiny May 204. You know what I mean? Like, they really shared the load. They were beasts, bro. That was, yeah. I know, I'm glad that team's broken up because it's fair. Like, if everyone stayed at Penrith, like, literally no other team would have won a game this year. But there's a part of me, just a small part of me, that just wishes that every single player there was still there and we were just watching. Can you imagine, like, this year, if Tiny was still there? Crichton, Burton, Kickow, Fisher-Harris. Just... Do you reckon they would have lost the game? I don't think they would have lost the game this year. Because the teams that are up the top have Panthers players in them. Like, we look at the top 8. Heaps of Panthers players. And then the Tigers took the rest. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Well, let's just leave it there, boys. Like I said, I didn't watch this game. I can't talk too much about it. But on to the next game, the final one. Look, man, Knights. This one hasn't updated yet. Knights probably are really unlucky here. I genuinely thought they were better the team for a lot of this. Like, again, like we've got to talk about again, I don't think Warriors are playing their best footy. They have a little bit of an excuse, though. They literally have half their front row and half of their spine out. Half of their spine out as well. But just definitely not overly convincing. But, yeah, they got the dub. Like I said, these top teams, they're still winning games, all these top teams, so we can't knock them too much, you know. Like, a win's a win at the end of the day. We won't remember how they won this game in 4 weeks' time. We'll just remember they won it. So, yeah, I think they might have came in a little complacent. Like, first of all, Knights have sort of been sucking ass, and then we hear Gastro goes through the joint, and they didn't even do a captain's run yesterday. And people were messaging me going, bro, go Warriors 13+. Like, the joint's got Gastro run through it. They're not going to be able to play a full game of footy. You're really dehydrated after gastro. And then they came out, they got a couple calls go their way. I'm not saying they were bad calls, just they had a couple calls go their way, the Warriors. They scored a try, got another one disallowed, and then Knights just went bang, bang, bang. And I honestly thought the Knights were going to run away with it. They were the better team for a lot of this. I don't know what happened. They stopped going left as much. I think Gagai's a little bit to blame here. They went left a bit and just stopped hitting Bradman Best. And then there was a couple times and they messed one up. He tried to face ball Bradman Best straight to Marju, and the ball sort of landed at Marju's knees and he knocked it on. I was like, Gagai, bro, I love you. And, bro, what a warrior for playing through that injury. But you're not Reece Walsh. You're not just pass the ball through the hands, bro. You've got Bradman Best there, bro, on his 100th. He's not going to let you down. Like, why are you trying to find, Marju on an edge who has a shitty set of hands? Just pass it to Bradman Best, bro. Bradman Best can make the decision whether he wants to go out to Marju, So it was pretty stanky second half from them, but I still thought they played good enough to win this thing. And as we mentioned earlier, boys, like the last person on earth, the Newcastle Knights would have wanted the ball, hands in the ball, balls in the hands, was Licker Halassim. Like, just monster try, man. He's such a beast. I am loving these young'uns. This Vamunga, he got a try too. Like we've said it before, I think people are starting to take notice now. They have the best young forwards coming through, and he's not close. Like, these guys are, we're seeing a lot of the Bulldogs guys and stuff, and like this guy played in the under 19s, under 20. Like, these dudes are 19, bro, and they're carving NRL players up. You know what I mean? Like, this dude is 19, and he's not on emerging to be an NRL player, and we're all excited about it. He is carving up NRL teams already, bro. It's scary stuff. Monster, absolute monster. But yeah, look, it was funny. I wrapped Tanner Boyd pre-game before he played last week, and I was sitting there. He had a stinker in that final 15 minutes. And look, that is sometimes the difference between a good and a bad player. A good and a fringe half can sometimes be, they can be good one week, and you're like, damn, like Tanner Boyd, like he did a nice job last week. He's wondering, why has he been playing fringy? Like, and then you get the next game, and he's kicking it out on the full when they need the ball back. It's just like, sometimes that's the difference. Like, that's all it can be. And it's just, you very, very rarely, like, people will give Nathan Cleary for not dominating a game, but you very rarely see Nathan Cleary just have an absolute stinker. And that's why he's one of the best, Yeah, so look, Warriors, again, a lot to work on. Unfortunately for them, they're not really getting anyone back. I think this is it. They do get Rocco back. But I honestly, bro, I'll be real. I thought I know everyone was like, man, look, Capewell's getting dusted by Best. I thought he did an incredible job on him, bro. It could have been worse. Knights left 3 or 4 tries out there, and I thought he was stopping them, so he was. I actually thought he was pretty good. But yeah, look, they've got a few things to work on as well. Good thing about the Warriors is I don't have super high expectations of them this year. Like I said, I think next year is going to be their year. I'm going to be putting them in my top 4 for next year. If their draw is okay, if they've got the hardest draw in the comp, I might put them in 8th or 9th. 8th or 7th or something. But like with Lecker and Vamunga and all these boys getting full and then possibly finals experience in their legs, they're going to be an absolute problem next year. So shout out the Wars. Knights, look, man, they were good enough to win this game. Cogger slotted a great field goal. Gagai, warrior, but not the guy you want making ball playing decisions with the game on the line. I thought their front row was actually pretty good. Saifidi and Thompson. And look, unfortunately for them, that's a wrap on their year. They won't be doing a damn thing this year. They won't be playing finals this year. I think they need a new voice. I think they need a new coach. I think they need a not necessarily a full rebuild. I think the Knights need a freshen up. I think they need, similar like I said to the Cowboys, just a new voice and some new ears. Some new voice and some new ears to listen. 6 wins. I mean, technically could still win the spoon, you know. So I think the Knights have needed this for a couple of years, but I think Kalen Ponga, well, the Knights in general actually, have just sort of saved O'Brien's job a couple of times in the last couple of years. Because you look at his record in general, he took the team from a spoon to playing 4 or 5 final series. But they scraped into those finals like 3 times and got pumped in the first round, you know. So, yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. Like, it could have easily been he's only played finals twice in 5 years. You know, and all of a sudden he probably would have been gone already. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Let's move on. We're done. Wars look good. Knights, not so much. But, yeah, look. Oh, I thought that was Jed Cleary for a second. I was like, was Jed Cleary 18th, man? Yeah, Warriors, man. All right, let's have a look at next week's games real quick. I'm pumped, bro. Let's win some money next week, boys. Let's win some money. All right, we're still on the Seagulls. Actually, let's have a real quick look at the Warriors' run home. Are they going to finish in the top 4? Because that's huge. Because I want the... No, actually, that's just silliness. I was going to say, I sort of want the Warriors to get a home final, so I want them to finish 5th or 6th, but I want them to do as well as they possibly can. So they've got the Titans next week in New Zealand. Bang. Dolphins in New Zealand. How good's this? Then they get a good test against the Doggies. Then they're back home again. How good's that? They've got a month where they only have to go to Australia once. Then they've got the Titans up on the coast, which will be a home game for them. Do you know how many Kiwis live on the Gold Coast? Then they've got the Wars. I've done that like 3 times tonight. Then they've got the Eels. Very winnable at home. Then the Seagulls are Brookie. So plenty of winnable games there. If they're good enough, they should be able to keep their top 4 spot. Their destiny's in their own hands. They can do it. Shout out to them. Let's have a look at next week's games really quickly and then get the hell on out of here. This is huge for the Roosters. Storm Roosters. Huge. Then we have Cowboys Dragons. Bit of a stanker. Broncos Eels. Big game for both. Get off out of spoon contention. This could get Eels out of spoon contention. If they win this and Titans lose, I think they'll be wrapped up for the Titans. But Broncos coming off a bye at Suncorp Stadium. Going to be tough. Warriors versus the Titans. Panthers versus the Tigers. Rabbitohs versus the Sharks. Where's that? Gosford. Okay. Oh, Knights versus the Raiders. Doggies versus Seagulls. Sunday at Allianz. How good's that going to be? Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.